So good morning, guys. Happy Friday. Question of the week. It's been a while since I've done one of these. I've had some personal stuff going on in my life. So this had to get pushed to the bottom of my list of priorities. But I'm back this week. I'd have had 2 questions or 3 questions, but I'm going to do one a week. So again, I want to remind you, if you ever have any question for me, please just message me privately and I will do my best to speak to it on a Friday when I do these. And if any of you are ever brave enough to come and have coaching with me one-to-one, when I do it for free, it will be live on my Freedom group. So if any of you ever want coaching and you haven't had coaching with me before, and you want the experience of being coached by me, and you don't mind it going live in my Facebook group, which you're probably in and watching this, or you're on one of my various social media platforms, if you ever want coaching with me, let me know, and we can sort that out. So I hope that you are all having a wonderful day thus far. And this question is an interesting one, and it's I'm going to caveat this by saying it's about grief. So if any of you are feeling like that might be a bit too much for you, then switch off. So the question is from Bindi, and she says this. So my mum passed away suddenly last year, and we didn't get to say goodbye as she was in hospital with COVID. I always thought we were super close as she used to visit twice a week and we talked every other day on the phone. When she passed away, I found out that she had a secret partner / companion for 2 years, and she kept it secret from me. So I'm struggling to grieve properly because I feel like our relationship in some degree was a sham. So Bindi, thank you for asking the question. And I'm really, really sorry to hear that your mum passed away. And especially as it was suddenly, although there's no great way for people to pass away. But yeah, I'm really, really sorry that that happened to you and that you're struggling with this grief. What I want to say to you, though, is, and this is important, when you're in grief, it is messy, it is emotional, it is exhausting, it is terrifying, it is raw, it is heavy, it is everything. Grief is everything, every single emotion possible, including joy and, happiness. And you can have moments and pockets of every single emotion. Grief kind of pulls the rug from under your feet. And if you haven't experienced grief before and you've lost your mum, so I don't know, because you haven't kind of given me any backstory, Bindi. So I just want to say, if you haven't experienced grief before, for anyone listening, if they haven't experienced grief before, there is no one way in getting through it. You just literally have to put one step in front of the other step in front of the other step and not judge anything. Not judge any emotion that comes up in your body or any emotion that comes up into your mind, including anger and disappointment and all the things. Like, you will literally feel everything. Now, what you're saying here is that you thought that your relationship was one way because you feel like you were super close. And what you now feel like is that because she kept her relationship secret from you, that maybe your relationship was a sham. I doubt that. Now, your brain in grief, and this is why I wanted to sort of introduce this by caveating that in grief, you can feel anything and everything, including what ifs, examining my relationship through the lens of I'm not good enough. What if, like, what if, what if, what if? And because you now can't ask your mum, you have got a thought into your head that the relationship in some way is a sham, which negates, I don't know how old you are, Bindi, but it negates the entirety of your lifetime relationship with your mum. It undoubtedly wasn't a sham, but you've had that thought, you've experienced it as a possibility, and your brain is hanging on to that theory, which is not ever going to go anywhere other than drive you into more exhaustion and more worry and more anxiety, because you can't ask her. So there's no way you can. And even if, you know, you'd found that out when she was alive and you were like, is our relationship a sham? She's going to say no, very obviously, because it's very unlikely that that's the truth. Now, you're never going to know the truth, and you're never going to be able to ask her. So you have to remember who you are, who you were together, you know, mother and daughter, and respect and honor and make peace with the fact that she, for whatever reason, which we'll never know because we can only make up that she kept that a secret from you. Now, if you remember, if everyone is doing the best that they can see to do with the thinking that feels and looks true to them in any moment, it will have looked true to her on some level that she keep it a secret. And it's usually because people are insecure, worried about judgment and that sort of thing. People don't tend to keep things a secret from their loved ones because the relationship is a sham. They keep a secret from their loved ones because they are on some level ashamed, or they have judgment and they're worried about upsetting you or judgment from you. I know that before my dad died, and I only found this out when he was dying, and I don't think he would have told me because for the very things that I've just said, he was having a sort of relationship with one of the carers in his care home. Now, my dad had historically and for years always been a ladies' man, and, you know, he always, you know, right till the end, literally, he had women who adored him. And he kept that a secret from me and my sister, only it came to light because she kept trying to visit him and he just didn't want to, he wasn't very well, he was dying, so he didn't want to see anyone. But the reason he kept that a secret was because it was special for him. You know, there was an element that he needed to feel some control over something. Now, I know that my dad was severely disabled and he'd been losing his independence over the last few years of his life, even more than he had lost it, because he was severely disabled. His disabilities were getting worse. But he had this sort of secret snog, if you like, with one of his carers. Now, of course, you've got boundaries and, you know, professional conduct, etc., which is, I don't really care about that. But what I care about is that he, for whatever reason, felt the need to keep that secret, and it was special for him. And I suspect there was a thrill in that, and there was, you know, possibly some, you know, fear about her job, etc. It's actually none of my business. You know, I can be offended about that, or I can make it mean something, but it doesn't mean anything unless I make it mean something. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean the fact that she kept this companion a secret. It doesn't mean your relationship was a sham. It just doesn't. We'll never know why she did that, Bindi, and it certainly doesn't make your relationship with your mother mean any less. Now, my sense is that you're struggling to grieve because people struggle to grieve, because the first year of any grief is absolutely horrific. And I found the second year harder than the first. And you are in grief, Bindi. You are in the depths of that. And your brain is trying to make sense of it and hold on to stuff and trying to make meaning of stuff rather than just seeing you're in grief. And it's going to be everything that I've mentioned. It's going to be messy. It's going to be painful. It's going to be heart opening, unraveling, so many things. And your mum did what she did, and make your peace with that, because it won't be anything to do with you, and it won't be any reflection on your relationship with her. It will be something you'll never know. You are just grieving, and that's hard. So my heart goes out to you. I hope you found this gentle, and I encourage you to be gentle with yourself and understand that this is going to take you all over the place. But that underneath all of that, you're okay. You're going to be okay. You've always been okay. And I hope you found this helpful. Take care of yourself. Let me know. And we'll talk to you very soon. And I'll be back next week with another question of the week. Take care.